Hello, and welcome to a webinar about gender equality, diversity, and equal terms, and sustainability. These are two of KTH's 4 pillars. My name is Erica Dawn Egan. I am a sustainability strategist at KTH Sustainability Office, and I'm very excited about the discussion today. I'm also very excited to have with us Professor Anna Wahl, who is also Vice President for Gender Equality and Values at KTH. And it's also very special to have a student here with us today. Amina Bensabra, welcome. You are also the Equality Coordinator at the student organization from Malvina.
Yes.
Anna, could you just quickly tell us more about your role as a Vice President at KTH?
As a Vice President, I drive the work for change at KTH in the whole organization. So it's very much about gender equality, diversity, inclusion in a lot of dimensions.
As well as our core business and our operations.
Yes.
We have a lot of employees, we have a lot of students, so this is a large job.
Yes,
and
it
it's
is.
good that there's people helping.
It involves a lot of people, of course. I'm not alone.
No, you're not alone,
No.
but it should involve a lot of people.
Yeah.
And Amina, you were a student here at KTH. Can you tell us about your program and how long you've been here?
Yes, I am studying my 5th year at KTH and I'm doing my 2nd year of my master in medical biotechnology.
Medical biotechnology.
Yes.
So this is your last year at KTH.
Yes.
So you have lots of experience from your years as a student here to share with us today.
I hope so.
That is great. I'm looking forward to this a lot. Just before we start, I have a few housekeeping items for you at home. We're going to be dividing this discussion into 3 parts. First, I'm going to do a brief overview of sustainability at KTH before we go back to Anna, who's going to talk to us about how she works with gender equality, diversity, and equal terms at KTH. Then we're going to get your student perspective about how it's been at KTH and where we're going to be moving forward. Behind the scenes, we have our colleague, Ro Pitas. Ro is going to be looking at the questions that I'm hoping you are going to be posing in the question function in your webinar. Please ask questions as you think of them. We'll be collecting them, and then there will be a time at the very end for us to lift your questions live. All right, let's go. Sustainable, equal, and climate neutral. The picture that you're seeing in front of you now are the words that summarize KTH's ambitions. KTH Sustainability Office, where I work, works with integrating sustainability into KTH's education, research, collaborations, as well as our daily operations. KTH has an environmental management system, and this system is certified according to the international standard ISO 14001. The system is designed to progressively minimize our negative impacts while reinforcing our positive impacts. We continually monitor the health of our management system. We also follow it up to make continual improvements. One thing that is a red thread through all of our sustainability work is equality, which is why we're here to kind of lift that today. During your years at KTH, you will come in contact with many engaged, passionate students, teachers, researchers, professionals, as well as industry partners. This collaboration is a basic prerequisite for building strong, prosperous societies and a sustainable future. We believe at KTH that our students are our future. At KTH, we aim to integrate sustainability and equality into all of our program levels so that our students have the capacity and the readiness to be sustainability leaders when they graduate from here and all throughout their career. You will learn more about some of the organizations or one specific organization, Malvina, but students do have the opportunity to participate in student organizations that are connected to sustainability and inclusiveness. Some of these are Malvina, we have climate students, we also have KTH Students for Sustainability. Many of these organizations work with us at central administrations on different projects concerning equality, food waste, also communication. As you know, this is important for the future of society. we know that the world has ambitions. In front of you, you will see the Agenda 23. In 2015, all member states of the UN adopted the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. The goals are part of Agenda 2030, which have set out a 15-year plan to achieve headway in sustainable development. It has been called a call to action for all countries, for people, for planet, and for prosperity. On the next slide, you will see that we've highlighted Goal 5 of the SDGs, gender equality, and Goal 10, reduced inequalities. While the goals are indivisible and should be seen as a whole, it is important to understand the links between all of the goals. Understanding the links between gender inequality, diversity, and sustainability aids in taking definitive action. In that way, we can accelerate dynamics, more positive dynamics, and promote sustainable development outcomes. Working to ensure equal opportunity and reduce inequalities, including eliminating discriminatory laws, policies, and practices, while promoting appropriate policies and actions, strengthens and supports healthy institutions, including higher education institutions such as KTH. As we briefly mentioned before, KTH's activities in these is based on 4 pillars. We have sustainability, equality, internationalization, and digitalization. As Sweden's largest technical university, we have a special responsibility to develop and disseminate knowledge, innovations, technology that are needed to promote a sustainable development. Our education and our research can and should contribute to better living conditions and a just societal development. I believe that it is this conviction and systematic focus that has laid the ground for KTH's ranking in the THE Higher Impact Rankings for Sustainability, where we are currently placed 41st in the world. It is also thanks to leadership in these areas. There are vice presidents dedicated to equality and sustainability at KTH, and this is unique. We are here today with Anna Wahl. You are the dedicated leader and Vice President for Gender and Equal Terms at KTH. I think we're all very interested to learn a little bit more about your path to becoming the Vice President here at KTH.
Well, it's from my own research. I'm a professor in gender organization and management, so I've been studying gender inequality and inequalities, I would say, my whole professional life. So I know a lot about the dynamics behind inequality, but also studied how to actually change things and to challenge these inequalities. It's about structures, it's about culture, it's about power, and all of this I can bring into my work as a vice president and driving change at KTH. So I actually lean on a lot of research and knowledge when I sort of perform this in practice.
In practice. Mm. And just a note to the audience, just recently, the work that Anna has been doing along with her group at Equality Office has been nominated for a Swedish Equality Prize from Forum Jämställdhet. That's very exciting.
Yeah.
And well deserved.
Thank you.
Could you tell us more about the work that you've been nominated for here at KTH?
I think it's the way that we work very broadly, and also that we have this kind of we worked a lot with the organization of the work so that we coordinate different parts of the work, working with students but also working with faculty and administration, all parts, and working with processes and very integrated with people and groups that are already in place. Mm. So I think it's the kind of methods we use that is also unusual, I guess.
Mm. How long have you been vice president at KTH?
5 years.
5 years.
And I have one more year to go.
One more year to
yeah.
go.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be sad to see you leave, but the nomination is a credit to the hard work that you've put in and the change that you've effected so far. You've been focusing a lot on educational initiatives here at KTH. Can you tell us what impact the knowledge of equality and diversity has for education for our future engineers?
Well, we're just about to start this work to integrate content-wise knowledge about what gender equality, diversity, inclusion really means, and also how students can understand what inequality is and how that is expressed in society and in organizations, in research, in work life. So we want to give students kind of the basic knowledge to find out more for themselves and to include that into their studies in whatever program they take. So this is a work we do now together with the sort of education organization here, that all students actually should have this kind of small module of gender equality and diversity into their programs, so they know more.
So every student that comes to KTH will have this module in some part of their...
Yes, in some part of the program, and it goes for all 3 levels that we have, also the PhD students and for the...
So it works the same way as that we've been integrating sustainability into all levels.
And we actually use that quite a lot, because as you just showed us the image of the goal 5 and 10, they are already there. So if we sort of have integrated sustainability into our programs, it's very easy. You could find the entrance into knowledge about gender equality and reduced inequalities overall through the sustainability goals. And that's the way we have worked with the teachers, for them to see where to go and where the entrance is to this kind of knowledge.
Just a question I thought of right now. Do the teachers receive some sort of support?
Yes, they definitely do. We have higher education programs for teachers. We also have a lot of workshops and seminars, and also actually coach the teachers. We have produced quite a lot of materials for this. I mean, texts, introductory texts, film clips, and other things. That a web page where you can find a lot of information about gender equality and diversity.
So really putting the effort into developing the skills and the knowledge of the teachers that the students will meet during their years. That's excellent.
And it will be mandatory. I mean, it's not something that's optional anymore. It's something that all students should take in and learn and be examined for. Yeah.
It is a very important step, and I think it's very symbolic for KTH, and I think it's very, very strong that we've taken that step. I just want to go back to the term gender equality. Do you focus solely on gender equality? What does it mean?
I mean, we focus on gender equality, but we also focus on equality in relation to other dimensions of inequalities. It could be race, class, sexuality, functionality, etc. So we sort of build that into the whole concept, because gender is always important, but it's never the only thing that is important, that this is how we work. We call it an intersectional perspective of gender equality, where we sort of include other dimensions.
So including all?
Yes.
Because everybody, according to these sustainability goals, have a right to equality education on their levels. That's excellent. Thank you, Anna. I mean, I think maybe I'd like you to jump in here.
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yes.
We're ready for it? You're here to give a student's perspective. Do you maybe have a question to Anna or myself so far?
Yes, I actually have a question for Anna. You talked about including and involving students in your work. How important do you really think it is to include students, and how much can they actually affect this work of equality at KTH?
I think it's super important, and we work a lot together with students, and we also include students in our workshops and seminars, etc. We have this kind of executive group, strategic group, where also a student representative is part of the work. So that's really the core of where we do our strategies for the whole university. So I really think students are super important in all ways. Yes. And we also support, when I say we, I refer to the equality office that we have, but we support students in different ways, also with training for the student organization, etc., for different groups, and also Malvina do workshops. So that's the way how we cooperate.
Thank you. Yes, that was my question.
I think it's very important as well to include the students. For one thing, you're on the floor and see different things and hear different things than what we do. And it's important to have those eyes and ears. It's been invaluable when we've been creating our objectives and our policies as well moving forward. Amina, maybe we can ask you why you think it's important that students get involved.
Well, I think working with JML, as we call it here at KTH, or equality question, it's a given. It's something that affects all of us. And students are like part of KTH, so they spend most of their time here, and they will see, maybe not all, but some will see these inequalities, and these are like the rights of every student, and these are questions they will actually also work with later when they graduate from KTH. So it's questions that we actually value and we need to talk about more in the society. So if we can start here at KTH and then educate the leaders of the future, we will get more like inclusion in workspaces, and the society will just become better.
Mm-hmm. You're obviously very, very passionate about this. You're also very engaged here at KTH. Can you tell us a little bit more about how you've channeled your engagement?
Yes, I have been part of like equality associations, and right now I am the equality coordinator at Malvina. So yeah, I get to work with the school and with students in these kind of questions. Yeah.
So could you you're going to see now a picture of Malvina.
Yes.
I see you in the picture here.
Yes, this is a picture of our board.
Yes.
At Malvina, and Malvina is a network for females and non-binary at KTH. We have around 2,000 unique members, and we organize business and social events for our members to get like a closer connection to the female non-binary students at KTH, but we also introduce them to the work life and different companies. So we value equality and gender equality very much at Malvina, and we actually offer support if there happens to be like any inequalities at KTH. We can help you get in contact with the right persons, or just if you want someone to talk to or don't know what to do if there has been inequality or discrimination at KTH.
There's 2,000 female and non-binary members. Is these current students, or is it also alumni that have been through KTH before?
I'm not really sure about the number, but I think some of them are alumni, but we get like more students every year, so I would say around like 2,000 students.
You do have the benefit of alumni who have gone through KTH, are also out in their careers in the work life to get more experience and feedback from. That's excellent. So 2,000 students about, there's more coming in. If the people that are watching today are interested in getting involved in Malvina, how would they get involved?
Well, if they become members, every female or non-binary can become a member. It's a free membership, so they just go to our webpage.
So you should be seeing the webpage, Instagram and Facebook now.
Yeah, if you just like use these QR codes or like search for Malvina KTH, you will come to our webpage, and then you can join to become a member, and then we will send out information about our events and what Malvina does.
Is there an upcoming event that they can look forward to next term?
Next term in the spring, I know we have like pottery classes.
Pottery classes?
Yeah, so we're gonna like make pottery together, but we also have like many events with like different companies and such. So we have, I know, one event with Bond Touch. We're gonna do like with a diversity theme. with another association here at KTH, Bright, because we want to show that we really care about equality, gender equality and diversity here at KTH. So
that sounds...
I hope we'll get many new members this spring.
I'm sure you will, and I'm sure you can look it up when you're at home to find more about how you can get involved in the exciting opportunities that are there at Malvina for you. So we've heard about your time as a student here. I kind of want to go back and reminisce with you, Anna, about your time as a student. Were you involved in student organizations?
Not really, but I was very involved in feminism and feminist thinking, because I wrote my master thesis with a gender perspective, and that was quite unusual in the early 80s. So I was kind of pioneering there, and it was really like opening up a new world that I'm still living in, you know, and it has developed so much when it comes to research from the early 80s to now. There is so much knowledge around, and this is important for all students also to know, that there is a lot of research and knowledge. This is a knowledge area. It's not only something that you're sort of active in because of ideology. It's also very much about knowledge and awareness, and this is what universities can contribute with. So,
did you have that support when you were a student?
Not really, no, but I had peers, so I had other students, but we were sort of, it was hard to get supervision at that time at the university I went to, but I could find there were networks in the early 80s of researchers from different disciplines that could actually help us get through, and that was very valuable to me. So already then it was really important with these research networks to me. Yeah.
So that maybe has been in the back of your mind as you've been building a quality office and support systems here at KTH.
Yes, we know quite a lot about how to work for change, as I said, and we should use the methods that we know of, also from research, that we know how to achieve changes. And also how to handle resistance against change. There's always resistance if you try to change something. And this is something that you can sort of learn how to handle. So this is also something we teach now at university, at KTH, when it comes to teachers that are going to bring this into their programs. It's good that they feel very secure in their role as teachers.
I think it's very, very important to have that sort of sense of security and support behind you when you're working with these issues. Thank you very much for giving us the benefit of your knowledge and your experience. Behind the scenes, we've had Ro. Ro has been looking at your questions and answering a few. Ro has also picked out a few of the questions that I'm now going to ask Anna and Amina. So let's see what you are curious to know about. There is a question here about how the progress in your work is being monitored. And I think that's for you right now.
Yeah, are we referring to the whole work at KTH, or specifically the integration into the programs, the education?
We'll take it through. We'll take the first part about the education, how you're monitoring the fulfillment through education.
Well, it will be followed up in the what we call program analysis that all the teachers do, and we have also program responsible for the whole program that sort of collects this. So it will be followed up that this actually takes place and that it has been examined, but also in order for us to help teachers to maybe make improvements if there was something that didn't work out, and could we change something. So it will be an ongoing process, I think, the next few years.
Following up, identifying places where you need to be a bit better, and then progressively changing.
Yes.
That sounds good. I think another part of this question was actually to me about how the progress of the SDGs are monitored at KTH. The environmental management system is structured so that we are continually following up and checking the health of the management system. Every year we have an internal audit as well as an external audit where an authorized audit firm comes in and looks at our goals, looks at what we have planned for measures, and to see if we've fulfilled them. If you're curious to know more about how we work with SDGs and are meeting the SDG requirements, you can go online and find the latest SDG report for KTH. It is on our website, and you'll find the link at the end of this presentation. There is a question here about the Muslim community at KTH.
Okay. We actually have an association called KTH Muslim Students.
KTH Muslim Students?
Yes. So they organize like get-togethers and stuff, and like post on their Facebook page about like events, or like where you can find places to pray, or where you can find like halal meat here in Stockholm. So
is there places for prayer here on campus?
There is a few. I think my favorite is actually at Flemingsberg campus. That's a very big room with like a nice rug and everything where you can play. There's also like Qur'ans, and I think it's like a meditation room that people use for prayer room. So it's like for not just for Muslims, it's for everyone who wanna like take a minute to just relax, or if it's another religion that wants to pray there, and Muslims also pray there. Here in the D building there's a prayer room, and like some empty rooms here and there. Not that many, but if you ask you can find them. I want more though.
You want more?
I want more.
We will take a note of that.
It's a big campus.
Just to note to you at home, KTH is a large university, and we do have 5 campuses within the Stockholm region. You were talking about one out in Flemingsberg. Today we are here at KTH Campus, the main campus in the middle of Stockholm. Amina, this is a question for you. Somebody would like to know if you could give a specific example of an equality program you organize for students.
Equality program that I have organized.
Malvina.
Malvina was part of a diversity panel for a few weeks back. THS Armada was doing like a diversity panel, so KTH Equality Office was there. I was there from Malvina, someone from Bright, another association that's for diversity, and some other persons like from different parts of like Sweden to talk about like diversity in the workplace and in the school. So I was part of that and like pushed it so it got through. So
well done.
Thank you.
Can they read more about that on your website?
I think it's on YouTube. So I think if they search like THS Armada or something, they will get information about the companies that were there, and also the diversity panel. It should be online somewhere.
It should be online somewhere?
Yeah.
That's excellent. Can international students get involved with equality at KTH, Anna, or do they need to become part of the associations first?
I don't know if I'm sort of expert when it comes to the student organization, but from what I understand, that most programs have their own gender equality groups, and they have representatives that are sort of in the central gender equality group at the student organizations. So I'm sure it's open for both international and national Swedish students, the work for change. So, and a lot of the seminars, for instance, March 8, I've been invited several times to do workshops. We started off doing them in Swedish, but then after a while it became something that was asked for to do it in English in order to international students to be able to take part of these seminars and workshops. So we often do things in English to include international students now.
I think having that opportunity to participate in English does a lot for welcoming people here to Sweden and having them
definitely
be able to really access all the things that we have available for them. There is a question here about what support KTH can give a student who has been harassed during their studies or at some place outside of the university.
I mean, there is an organization for if you want to report an incident, then that you know what person you should contact. So there is this kind of organization for this, depending on what program you're in, etc. So there are people that would take the report and to investigate what happened, etc. So, but I mean, it's also important to work for proactively so these things do not happen. So we also work a lot with the student environment in terms of not having this kind of harassing or sexual harassing behaviors or exclusive behaviors or in other ways discriminatory behaviors. So we work with on both sides, the reporting and finding out what happened, a certain incident, but also work proactively. So I guess that, and you can help me here, I mean, with all new students, they at the reception at KTH, they get this kind of crash course in gender equality and diversity, but also including knowing that sexual harassment is not okay and where to report and that what you should expect from the student environment. And that is very, very important from day one, that everyone are sort of informed of this is not okay.
Also, when you get accepted to KTH, you have to agree of the KTH Code of Conduct, which says you have to respect everyone at KTH. So that way you know what's tolerated and not tolerated here.
Okay, so when new students arrive at KTH, they will receive a package with information about the KTH's official code of conduct.
I think it's online, you have been accepted to KTH and there's you do accept your place and then it's the code of conduct somewhere there, I think.
Code of conduct.
Yeah.
And then they'll also receive information on introductionary days, the receptions, where they will be introduced to Anna, Wahl, Equality Office, and the work that they're doing and what is expected. And if something happens, the steps they need to take and the support they will have.
And we are also conducting a study where we find out whether sexual harassment happens and in what way, etc. So it's being done now in all universities in Sweden, but we also have data from KTH that will be analyzed. So in that way we will know more about the problem that we have and in what ways we should work proactively.
I'd like to go back to the term diversity. There's a question here about how we have focused, but you have explained that it's not just a focus on gender equality, but how does KTH address the problem of diversity and ethnic diversity at KTH? You've mentioned that there are rooms that are safe for prayer. Is there any other examples of how we work?
I mean, we give seminars with sort of anti-racism. Also, I mean, it's also a thing about knowledge and awareness. So this is seminars we give, but also that according to the Swedish law of discrimination, there are 7 grounds for discrimination. So the thing that we said about reporting something could also be in relation to ethnicity, sexuality, or some other dimension, to get it investigated and reported. So it goes for all the 7 grounds for discrimination.
You were talking about the Muslim community. Do you know if there are other communities or networks for non-binary people, for example?
Not that I heard of, not as an association, I think. I mean, Malvina is for non-binary, and we also have a Christian association. But yeah, I don't know, we have different associations, but I don't know if we have more diversity in that way. Yeah, we also have an Indian. I don't know if yes, it's an association who do Indian traditions and celebrations and stuff together.
KTH was part of the academic pride last year, so taking care of the LGBT issues and being active in that. So that was one important thing.
Is that the Stockholm Pride Week?
Yes. So that was the part was called Academic Pride, and
Academic
that was,
Pride.
I think KTH was hosting that.
That's excellent. There are a few comments, and I think it would be nice for you to hear these comments as well, that there's a thumbs up to you for sustainability and equality, working with sustainability and inequality issues that are affecting our communities, and that the viewer is in love with your focus on sustainability and equality. Thank you.
Oh, excellent.
Another comment from a student is that they are so glad that there is equal opportunity at KTH. They feel that it is very important for all communities, especially the connection between sustainability and equality. They loved this.
Oh, great.
So thank you very much for being part of this today and fielding the questions. I think that is about all the time we have for today. It's been very, very interesting, and I thank you very much for speaking with us today. And to all of you viewers for participating in and posing your questions. I'd also like to thank Caroline Mosen and Jairam and Ro Pietas, who have been behind the scenes supporting us today. I'd like to point out that the time to deliver substantial sustainable transformation is closing in on us. Sustainability is urgent and universal concern, and gender equality, diversity, and equal terms is a necessity for building strong, healthy, and prosperous societies. I want to thank you for being here today, and I want you to remember that if you have an ambition to work with sustainability and equality at KTH, you are welcome here, and we will do everything we can to support you. Thank you very much, and take care of each other.